guys, it's Jouelzy, and I am finally getting around to doing a story time. These have been quite popular on YouTube as of late, and I didn't know if I was racially ambiguous enough, if I had the cute puckered lips enough. I didn't feel like I had enough baby hairs to do a story time that people would actually watch. And then I was like, none of this is just like ever even remotely happened to me. Like, kidnapping? And then I realized, oh shit, like I have something that I could kindly, it's an interesting story. It's not exactly kidnapping, but it's pretty damn close enough actually. And there was a woman in New York, we're gonna call her Adele. Adele had a blog. Adele, on her blog, one day wrote about me in not the nicest of ways. Basically, she like tore me down to build me back up and say that she saw something special in me and she like wanted to hug it out of me, even though she thought I dressed funny. Shade, not shade. It was interesting because Adele and I had mutual friends, and like she was just rude to me, like flat out. Every time we were out, she would pull this little, I'd be talking to like our mutual friends or whatever, and she would see us and she would come over, interrupt the conversation while I was speaking, and they'd be like, oh, hey, I'm Adele. Who are you? What's your name? And it's like, girl, we done met like 4 or 5 times already. Like, stop with the shade. But I never paid her any mind. So in the blog post, she was saying how like she was rude. She never liked me from the door, but she never had a reason, and I never paid her any attention. And so it kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Girl, yeah. But, ugh. Always been humored by people who don't like me but pay attention to me. Even before this YouTube thing, it's been a thing. And so I was humored by the blog. My mother wanted to know if she could help me get a job, and my homegirl, my best homegirl at the time, left a really mean comment threatening to beat homegirl up in the street if she wanted to come find her. And so she then took the blog down. Now, her and I, like, she apologized. She might have invited me something. I had been drunk on Jumeirah Beach in Dubai, and meant to forward the invite to my friend saying something snarky, and then instead replied back to homegirl, and that kind of, you know, put the nail in the coffin for that. But I feel like we both wrong, girl. I ain't got, like, it's whatever to me. Adele writing the blog isn't even a story about me. So Adele and I kind of went our ways. We just realized that she was rude to me. I replied unintentionally with something rude back, and we just, you know, like, we see each other, it ain't nothing, it's no energy exchange, it's just like she doesn't exist to me and I don't exist to her. As a matter of fact, I saw her last time I was in Brooklyn. Whatever, we good. But Adele has this best guy friend who she hangs out with all the time. Not only does she hang out with this best guy friend all the time, but in her blog, she used to reference him a lot. So, like, I knew they were close. I knew they, like, clearly, like, they best friends. And I don't remember how long after the blog, but at some point, because Brooklyn summers all run together for me now, one summer, yeah, because she wrote the blog post in February. One summer, he came up to me at Havana Outpost. Havana Outpost is like this spot in Brooklyn. I don't know if it's still popping now, but it's in like Fort Greene, Brooklyn. The food really ain't that good, but it's free to get into. They used to show movies on Sunday nights. The mojitos were like $5, and you get some Mexican corn, and just like all the black people that were doing their thing in Brooklyn would just be out there. Just be like beautiful black people, no purpose, just having a good time, kikiing, great way to meet people, great time. And so I had walked in there. This is after, I feel like I was a Delta at this point, so it might have been like a year later. And I walked into Havana Outpost, and her homeboy, Adele's best guy friend, comes up to me now. Adele's best guy friend, we'll call him Errol. Errol is like questionable whether or not he actually likes women. Like, I don't trust that women's is his thing. And he's just physically like not my type. He really goes out of his way to like be down with the cool people, like significantly. And I mean, I would see him around because he was always around. He was always with the pretty girls and just all in their face all the time. But like, I knew he was Adele's friend, so like, I didn't really think nothing of him. I just thought like his presence was funny all the time. Like, it's like, okay, he's here and I'm gonna keep it moving. So he comes up to me at Havana Outpost and he's like, can we dance? Now, one, ain't nobody dancing at Havana Outpost. I was like, no. I mean, but I was still trying to be nice to him because you don't necessarily, like, someone's trying to be nice to you, you don't necessarily want to burn the bridge. But I'm looking at him like, I know you know I know who you're friends with, and like, not that like I can't be cool with anybody that associates with her, but something in the milk ain't clean here. And he was just in my face, and I'm looking at him like, no dude, like, it was just a weird conversation. And so from there out, I would see him out at like different industry parties, and he would always come up to me and have something to say. And so it just got to the point where I finally was like, look, like, let's be clear here. Like, I don't feel like you're going hard at trying to get to know me, and I don't trust like your intentions here. Like, I don't want to be the gossip that you guys kiki about. Like, I feel like you're just trying to get to know me so you and your best friend have something to talk about. And not that I thought that Adele had anything to do with it. He just struck me as that type of person who knew who his homegirl had beef with, and he would go out and like try to stir the pot on the side so he would have something to come back and talk to her about. That's what I thought was going on, independent of her. So he's like just in my face all the time, and I was like, look, like, in the nicest way possible, like, I'm just not interested in getting to know you because I feel like you're so close to her, and I know you guys talk about everything, that I don't want to encourage me being a topic of conversation between the two of you. That was it. Now, I wish I remember the timeline from this. I feel like this spans like over a year, like between 2 summers. Now, there was a Hennessy party. This Hennessy party had to be, the whole conversation I had with Errol happened summer 2009 because I was already Delta. I had just crossed. And then the Hennessy party was that like October, like around this time of year. Nas, Common performed. What was it for? Girl, all I remember is that it was open bar Hennessy for VIP, and I was in there like swimwear, just drinking my little heart out, and everybody was having a good time. And I was there with Percy and this bruh Sheldon. And Sheldon like wears suits all the time. He dresses like a Kappa, but he's a Q. And that was the first time I saw Sheldon like hop, like rep for the bruhs. And I was like, most inopportune time to do it, but I knew we was all like sauced because Sheldon was at an industry event setting out hops. I just got so lit that night because it was like, we are young, black, educated, and beautiful, and like the world is our oyster. Like, we are on to some new shit. Like, we the shit. Like, anything is possible right now in this moment. And it was just a good time. And so that's, you know, when you're happy and then you drink, woo, that's a new type of drunk, girl. Like, high emotion happiness and drinking and me are like not the best of combinations. And so the Hennessy event was at this club. I think it used to be called Pasha, which is like over all the way on like 11th, 12th Avenue in like the 40s or the high 30s or something in Midtown. So I left, and it's like I've been drinking. I know I'm not sober, and this is before the time of Uber. Trying to hail a cab in New York as a black person was for the hopes and dreams of those who don't look black. Like, nah. And then I was thinking, all right, I'm all the way on 11, trying to walk over to the A train is like 4 avenues over. That's like a really long walk. It's like, I just want to sit down. I just want to get a cab and I want to go home, but a cab from here to my house and Bed-Stuy is going to be like $50, $40. Like, I don't want, like, I can pay it, but I don't want to, like, I can get a bus ticket to DC for cheaper than that. Like, do I really want to do this? And so I'm just like, I just remember thinking in my mind, I was like, Sheldon lived in Brooklyn and Percy lived in Harlem. Percy was got in a cab with my people go to Harlem, and Sheldon was like, you know, I'm on my thoughtfulness tonight, so I'm not going back to Brooklyn right now. And I remember being like, damn, like, I'm getting left. And then Errol comes out the club. Now, I already knew he was there. I also know that Errol lives 2 avenues over from me in Brooklyn. And so when he says, hey, catch a cab with me to Brooklyn, I'm thinking, all right, I don't trust this guy. I've already told him that I'm not interested in getting to know him for a very specific and clear reason. And he still is like on it. However, the worst that can happen is we get to my house and he tries to pull something, but because I'm in a cab, like, I can just get out and be done. Like, there's nothing he can really do because either way, he lives in Brooklyn. So even if we get to Brooklyn and he tries to say he's coming to my house, like, it ain't going down like that. And he has way too much to lose to really press me like that. After splitting this cab with him to Brooklyn is low. This is how I processed it. So I get in the cab with him. The cab driver asks for my address, and I give it to him. And then I said, oh, hey, and Errol needs to give you his address too. Errol didn't even wait till we got back to the borough of Brooklyn to try some shit. He was like, nah, we just going to her house. Everything ends at her house tonight. And I looked at him like, what? What do you think this is? Like, no, we're splitting a cab and you're getting out of your house and I'm getting out of my house. We're not doing this. And he was like, what you mean we're not doing what? He was like, you can't sit here and tell me you don't like me. You're denying that you even like me. Like, you're such a lie. Like, I can tell that you've been like me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what clearer words than I'm not interested in getting to know you can one use? Like, what kind of hoe do you think I am? He's like, I don't think you a hoe, because if you was a hoe, I would have fucked you in the bathroom back at the club. I could have had you on your knees back there. And I was like, oh wow. And I just remember thinking, like, are we really going this hard to have, like, you're really trying to provoke me right now? And so I was like, you know what, hold up, stop the cab, I'm gonna get out. Because this dude is out his God-given mind. Like, I don't care how much Hennessy you had to drink, at no point do you disrespect me and my womanness. Like, we not, And then to insist that you could tell that I've been like you, like, bruh, but I'm an articulate and direct person. What more do I need to say to you to get it? So I get out the cab, at the most inopportune location, because I was just hot. It just, the whole bathroom line just got under my skin to the nth degree. And so we were like, most inopportune location. We were like we had made it to like 20th and on the West Side Highway, and I just hopped straight out the cab. Now, that's not a good location because you can't pick up another cab from that location because you're on the highway. And then two, it's just sketchy. It's not a good area to be in. You want to at least get over to like 10th and then further down closer to the proper meatpacking district area. So I was like, look, I'm not going to catch a cab because I'm by myself. And this is an area where there's a lot of like hookers and there's a gentleman's club right here. And I'm just not going to do this. So I like hauled ass over and ended up getting on the train anyway. Because I was just so infuriated. I wanted to choke the shit out of homeboy. Like, it was not a joke for me. After that point, I flat out like avoid dude. Like, I see him and I walk the other way. Now, about a year, maybe, I'm bad with this timeline. Sometime later, my homegirl, what we gonna call it? My homegirl Tiffany. Everybody know a black girl named Tiffany. My homegirl Tiffany moved to New York, wanted to get back out, and she wanted to meet people in New York. Now, Tiffany is a little bit more bougier than I am. You know, she's a prim and proper young lady with a really prim and proper, very cute corporate job. And so I go about introducing her to like the bougie black folk that I know. Now, most of the bougie black folk that I know are somehow intertwined with Errol because that's the scene that he likes to like place himself in. And so I knew there was potential for her to meet him. And I told her the story, but I don't have the rule where where my friends can't be cool with other people. And I did tell her, I was like, you know what, he's creepy as fuck. Be careful, but he does know a lot of people. And if you're trying to meet other people, I'm not going to stop you from associating with him because of my issue with him, because there's no way, like, you carrying my grudge is just going to be a burden to you because there's no way in this social circle to avoid him. Like, he's just going to be omnipresent at all times. And so lo and behold, Errol creams Tiffany up. He butters Tiffany up. And I'm like, every time she's like, you know, you should really just like reconsider. Like, he's really good. He got me into this party. He told me about this. I'm like, girl, I'm living vicariously through you. Have all the funds. All the funds without me. I'm really okay. Like, it's really, really okay. And so, you know, when I'm out with Tiffany, he'll come over and talk to Tiffany. And I'm really good at you just no longer existing in my life. So it ain't even like it's just a nope. I turn and I excuse myself and I let them have their kiki time and I keep it moving. But then lo and behold, my line sister, who's in the partying, who does events, has like some house party in Brooklyn. And I go. And this Negro Errol shows up. And my lion sister is a Taurus. I understand. I have my moon. My moon is in Taurus. I have a definite need to talk things out with people who I'm emotionally connected to. But Negroes I don't give a fuck about, we ain't talking about shit. But my line sister believes in talking everything out. And so I feel like she slightly provoked this Negro to think that there was anything for him to say to me. Somehow, I end up in a conversation with this man at this house party. And he looks to me and says, I smash more women than you could ever dream of. Your story has no consequence over me. And I'm looking at him like, the fuck? First of all, I don't know what is going on in your head that thinks you have the right to talk at me in such an overdone misogynistic way. Like something ain't right with you. Like, this is the second time. Not only did you offend me in the cab, but now you're sitting here because you wanted to talk something out, but you don't have any sort of apology to offer to me. He was like, go ahead, tell your story. It's not gonna do anything to me. I'm gonna keep bagging women like I bag them. My nigga, I don't care about who else you bag. Quite frankly, I think you a verse. But, you know, if you want to go ahead and be that trade, nigga, go right ahead. Like, I didn't say all this, but I'm thinking, like, you know what? Like, here's this. I don't know why you're so infatuated with trying to provoke me into having some story to tell. But right now, you don't have a single story to tell that don't make you look like the misogynistic creep that you are. So let's just call a spade a spade. You are never going to be relevant in my book, and we will never speak. Done. And there you have it. Done. There's no ending or moral to this story. A nigga's still a fuckboy. You know, we've crossed paths since. We'll probably cross paths again. I'm unconcerned. I think the things that are meant to come to him will come. And I will live in my own world. Like, it's fine.
I'm a grown woman. I could do whatever I want.